Did you ever like cartoons when you were a kid? Would you ever just get real excited whenever you realized that they were going to show one of those episodes where your two favorite cartoon characters would finally meet in a show that would not be like any you'd ever seen before? Well, let me tell you, that's about that's about what's going to happen here. This is a combination of two of your favorite YouTube heroes. Myself, the heir of Carthage, seen here, commanding the armies of Britain, and my ally, who is Knubbgas, also known as Captain Marley, and he commands the Swedish armies. And we're going to fight a battle against some Ottomans and against some US forces as well. Let me introduce you to my army. Out front I have a line of 5 green jacket skirmishers, and on either flank I have a unit of cheaper skirmishers. This unit here is one of the new units in the new downloadable content. It is Fraser's Rangers. Very good unit, I think, for certain duties. Not good just for duking it out with long-range skirmishers. On this side I have a unit of Rogers Rangers. Have a bit longer range, but they also, yeah, I don't think they have quite as good a stats as the Fraser's Rangers in some respects. My line is line infantry, and I have one unit of Black Watch. And here's the Ottoman army you can see moving out in the distance. They've decided to retreat, seeing that they were about to get double-teamed by both Captain Marley and myself. Alright, Captain Marley's army has 5 skirmishers out front. I think he has, I want to say, 5 units of line infantry, and I think, yeah, I think it's 5 units of line infantry and a unit of superior line, 2 Hakapolita, 2 light dragoons, and 2 lifeguards of horse. Anyway, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm actually doing the commentary on this after I've recorded the footage. That was because I didn't plug my microphone in before I started Fraps, and so Fraps didn't detect a sound input. So in any case, the Ottoman, like I said, he is in full retreat in fear of being double-teamed by our dynamic duo here of Heir of Carthage and Knubbgas, and for good reason. Getting double-teamed isn't good. So here's my light dragoons, making him pay a price for his retreat. And anytime you have an enemy retreating, if you can hit them while they're retreating, it's a very good time to disorganize them and to mess up their movements. And so that's what I'm doing, is following and harassing with my light dragoons. And as we can see, it has done what I wanted it to, and we're going to lure this unit of Delhi horsemen, which is on its way, into a trap. You can see my other unit of light dragoons in the background doing much the same, and Captain Marley also has a unit of light dragoons in the background that's disturbing the Ottoman retreat. So there I'm going to take a few casualties from the Delhi horsemen. Fortunately for me, they're not as accurate as light dragoons. And my light dragoons have reloaded. I didn't realize that they weren't on fire at will. So I'm going to rectify that. And there they open fire and cause quite a bit of damage to the Delhi horsemen. And if the Delhi horsemen were smart, they would turn around and realize that they're about to be rear charged by light dragoons. But if they did turn around, then they'd realize they were going to be charged from the other side by light dragoons. So this was a trap that I lured them into, and now they're going to be sandwiched. And although light dragoons have lesser melee stats than Delhi horsemen, this is going to be enough to break them. So that is one unit down that we don't have to worry about in the future. So, because my opponent retreated, he's already lost some horses. As you can see, Captain Marley's returning his dragoons from causing some damage. But what's this? Another unit of Delhi horsemen just passed, and is heading into the fray. So, I don't want my light dragoons to get caught in a melee fight again, because I don't want to take any more losses than I need to. So I'm retreating towards my line. He stops and fires his muskets, but my men were just outside of his range by the time he fired, and I didn't take very many losses. And now, Captain Marley has come from behind, and we're going to pull off another sandwiching move here. So I pull up my light dragoons, he pulls up his, and we both unleash some fire. And then he's going to put his into melee combat, and I'm going to follow with mine. I didn't want to fire too many rifle shots into there because I would hit a bunch of Captain Marley's dragoons. So as you can see, those Delhi horsemen were already wavering, and now they're certainly going to rout. Alright, our opponents have retreated to their, what I'm going to call the noob fortress, and it's because the American player set up this box, and he didn't follow the no artillery rule. As you can see, he has a crap ton of artillery in there. Most of it's 24-pound howitzers, 2 of the units of it are puckle guns. So the Ottoman has retreated to the noob fortress with his ally, Now, the Ottoman player played pretty well, and I'm not trying to be mean to the American opponent, but I think he was kind of new or something, because he makes a lot of micro mistakes in this battle. And he wasn't mean to us or anything else like that, he just didn't end up playing real well. So, Captain Marley and I get the privilege of showing you how to break a noob box on Empire Total War. Now, first of all, let me suggest to you that you never try the noob box tactics on Empire Total War, because it didn't work on Rome, and it most certainly doesn't work here. So, how are we going to defeat this? You can see that I was coming in on one flank and Captain Marley on the other. So we're going to hit this noob fortress from two different directions. Now, Captain Marley is having the privilege of absorbing all of the howitzer fire. I don't know why he was chosen for that, but it's unfortunate for him. Here, the purpose for me bringing these rangers is either to support my light dragoons, or to forward and absorb incoming fire from skirmishers who have a longer range. And so, as you can see, my rangers have moved forward. They've drawn the fire from several of the Ottoman and American skirmishing units, and now my green jacket line can move up without having to be shot to pieces. So that's part of the reason why I bring units, and as you can see on the far side, my Fraser's rangers are accomplishing the same thing. So that's what these rangers are handy for. Also, on Rome Total War, you've seen me use light infantry to support my cavalry, as I just mentioned, and I do that quite frequently on Empire Total War, as it usually works well for me. In any case, you can see all my green jackets are opening fire on the Ottoman and American skirmishing units there. My Fraser's Rangers have to move in even closer because their range isn't very good, and so they're definitely taking some serious losses there, as they're coming under fire from about 3 different Nizam rifle units. And I've got my light dragoons poised to come up and make occasional hit-and-run shots on the Ottoman as well. And that's going to help me whittle down the forces on that side. So let's take a look at Captain Marley. You can see that the artillery fire coming in, fortunately not all of it's hitting his line infantry. I think his opponent was targeting his rifles at this point. Later I do notice that he is targeting his line infantry, but you can see he's already taken some losses to his line. But targeting rifles with artillery is kind of foolish, because they're so spread out, it really lessens the effect that the artillery has. But Captain Marley's going to have a bit of a tougher time breaking through because of the artillery fire. He can't wait as long as I'm going to be able to wait. And that's basically my strategy on my side, is to wait out my opponent and to make him move his infantry into my line infantry. So here, Captain Marley makes a quick hit-and-run move with his light dragoons. Takes a few losses, but causes quite a few losses. Yep, and here's some of the American long rifles along with the Nizam rifles firing into his Swedish rifles. That's a multicultural rifle fight going on there. Alright. You can just see he took some massive losses from that artillery barrage. Now back on my side of the noob fortress, or the steak fortress, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing quite well against these skirmishers. I've caused some pretty heavy damage, and despite having puckle guns helping, well, his puckle guns are actually limbered. So once again, that's what I say, my American opponent isn't doing too well. As you can see right here, here's a unit of long rifles who have so much contempt for their British adversaries that they've turned their back on them and aren't even fighting. So yeah, this was one of those micro mistakes I was talking about that the American opponent makes. Not a good idea to have your troops with their back turned to the enemy, unless they have eyes in the back of their head and can fire a gun well over their shoulder. But still, I wouldn't recommend it. So here's some Janissary Musketeers and some Nizam line. It's the Ottoman. His line is a mix of those. He didn't bring too much cavalry, just Delhi horsemen, which you saw were dispatched earlier. Alright, Captain Marley's moving up his line infantry, and he's going to start breaking through his side of the steak fortress. And he's going to be able to accomplish this because he has better numbers and his light dragoons in support. And the Ottoman has already taken some losses from skirmishing with the light dragoons. So he's definitely going to break through on this side. And here in a moment I'm going to cut this, and you're going to have to watch for part 2 of this video. I know it's kind of long, but I just wanted to show you this. It was fun to play with Captain Marley. I had a great time doing it. He plays well. And I just thought this battle would illustrate a good point to newcomers on Empire Total War, which is number 1, please follow the rules that you're given when you enter a battle. And number 2, noob boxes still don't work. They just don't work, even when they're loaded with artillery. Here's a bunch of quick lime that Captain Marley's men are happen to smoke there. I'm sure that doesn't go down very smooth. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and cut this part of the video. All I'm doing is continuing my skirmishing. Hope you've enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the next part, which is due soon.